Anthony Smith's retirement fight.
Yeah.
In his hometown, versus Zhang Mingyang. Tough fight for Anthony. I wish him nothing but the best. And I truly mean that. There was this crazy narrative and a bit of bullshit and maybe a bit of miscommunication. We've been through all that before, but Anthony's a really good guy. The last time I texted him, I said, listen, never mind the podcast or whatever. You're a great person. You're an amazing father. You're a good husband. And that's all that matters in life. I said, I wish you nothing but the best and success. And I truly mean that this weekend against Zhang Mingyang. I think technically, Anthony's probably a better fighter. I think he's got the ability on the ground to cause real problems. Mm-hmm. Zhang Mingyang is a beast, though. He's been knocking out everyone in the first round for the last 10 fights or something like that. But he has lost via submission.
Right. But that's the scary part for Anthony, right? I mean, he knows that. Everyone knows that. His chin has been checked a couple times. This is the last fight. I think it's really just going to be important for him to have a clean approach, because we know when shit goes south and things get crazy in there, Anthony can survive there, right? So he needs to figure out, how am I going to get this into a position where ultimately I'm put, on the right foot and that I can get this job done. And I think using your damn jiu-jitsu, he's slick as shit on the ground. And more often than not, we don't really get to see it because he's not afraid to knuckle up with dudes. He loves a good dogfight out there. But sometimes with these big, powerful, younger guys, you get caught with something. So I do hope to see him bust that out when need be. And, it'd be cool. It'll be a cool experience too, because if he does pull the W, I'm doing the interviews this coming weekend. So
nice.
I'll be able to be there for that. Yeah. So
tell him congrats for me if you get the job done. And all the BYM believers. Here's the thing though. So I'm looking at his record here. So he took Khalil Roundtree on short notice, didn't get the job done. Then he took Vito Petrino on short notice, won by guillotine. Ended up fighting Roman Dolidze on short notice. Didn't get the job done. And then he fought Dominic Reyes. That wasn't short notice, but he went through a lot of personal.
A lot of extra stuff on the table.
Yeah.
So, what's he going to look like with a full camp, right? I mean, dialed in.
Yeah. But here's the thing, and this isn't necessarily about Anthony. This is just about us as human beings, as fighters, as people. Like, I would assume that Anthony's going to go out there and work his ass off and ensure he's in the best possible shape. Anthony in great shape. If you think back to that fight he had with Glover Teixeira, even though he lost, I was so impressed with that performance. He looked so good early. I'll never forget Glover's knocking his teeth out and he's like, I'm sorry, brother. And Anthony's like, it is what it is, and hands the ref his teeth and stuff. It made me a fan for life. I already was. But when you know it's your last fight, I just wonder, is there a barrier to really, really pushing yourself? When you know you're going to call it a day, I don't know. I was never in that situation.
Yeah, I wasn't either, right? There was lots of talks of a retirement fight and having that one more, but you're right. It's a tough situation to be in because a lot of times we don't know it's going to be our last fight, right? The decision is usually made afterwards, whether it's injuries, whether it's just like, I don't think I should do this anymore. Very rarely do you get a successful, this is my last one, I'm going to ride off. And I think a lot of it is knowing like, okay, I'm training for just this one. You want to make it a big statement, but also the nerves that go into that have got to be out of this world, right? Knowing that this is what you want your lasting statement to be, basically, for your career, even though it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be your lasting memory of what everyone thinks. Should be all your success and your battles and all that. But ultimately, you're saying, hey, this is what I'm sending off, my final message to you. I think that's one of the things that's always made me nervous when I was really thinking about it was what if I go out and I'm not the same? What if I go out there and I shit the bed? But that's different for me because I had retired, then I would have been coming back. Whereas Anthony, at least he's still been in it and he's still been a fighter the whole time. He's just deciding this is the last one I'm going to do. Cub Swanson, if he had retired after that last fight, he had what a knockout that would go off of. But then it makes you not sure. I wonder we'll see if Anthony does get a big win. Is it the last one?
That's what I was going to say, because, you know, he goes out there, let's say he has killed it in training camp, and I'm sure he has. And again, we wish him nothing but the best of luck. Let's say he goes out there, he looks phenomenal. He destroys this guy, makes it look easy, you know, and he's like, hold on a minute. I'm back, baby. I've still got this shit. And you know what? I didn't even train that hard in camp, and I still destroyed him. Right? I'm going to stick around for a couple more. There's always that temptation. And that's why this sport is such a mother effer. It's really
so
is.
Hard. It's so hard to let go. It's so hard when you've made that walk and there's a crazy crowd and you fought the best people and there's money and there's fame with it. And it's just an adrenaline rush like nobody could ever understand until you've done it. To let it go is...
It's hard, man. It's hard. Let's ask Anthony and Brian. Let's throw it to the panel. I mean, I can't imagine you're going to say anything else, but who wins this weekend? Anthony Lionheart-Smith or Zhang Mingyang?
I imagine you meant Harrington and not Anthony, but
well, did I really? Anthony on the mind.
I get it, man. I'm putting money down on Anthony one more time.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, look, isn't this guy have 19 first round? I was just trying to look up how many of his wins are in the first round, because I know he has quite a lot of knockouts. But I remember when I looked this up, right when this fight got booked, he doesn't have much by way of second, third round knockouts or 3 or 5 round decisions. So it's a thing where it's like, do I think Anthony can survive 5 minutes with this dude and then use veteran savvy to gut out a win in basically his backyard? Yeah, of course I do. You know, I just watched him fight Vitor Petrino, who's a guy who was supposed to beat him. He was like a minus 600 favorite against Anthony Smith. Took him out in the first round with a guillotine. So yeah, I do. I definitely see the path for it. I like Anthony Smith by a 3-round decision.
Okie dokie. I mean, this guy, you got to think for Anthony as well. He was a little not bummed out with the matchup, but it's like you would think maybe in his mind someone with a
little more name.
Relevance in the division that's at the end of the game. They're also close to retirement, but this is just a sport. This is what happens. You were then turned into an opportunity for a member of the next generation, you know, or you're big enough to say, nah, man, nah, you got more work to do, kid.
Yeah, not today. And you know what? Or you can think of it too, like, since he's not a massive star, they could be saying, listen, you, Anthony, with the name that you have, you've fought for the belt. You've been in the top of the division for how many years now? They can't just give you either somebody that, you know what I mean? They can't give you a layup. So why not give you somebody that's still on the come up, who hasn't really maybe been tested by a savvy vet like you? So it's like, look, you're kind of along what you said, though, where it's like, look, you can beat this guy if you show up ready to go. And similar to what Harrington said, the guy's not known for having big wins past that first round. He knows what he's in for. He's going to have a guy coming out to take his head off early in the fight, survive that, and you should be able to take this guy out.
And also, you got to remember, on the flip side, the UFC might be looking at Zhang Mingyang. Obviously, China is a tremendous
100%.
market for them. He's in his last 10 fights, they're all wins, and they're all in the first round. Yes, he's got some losses, but he's still a young man, and they were early in his career. So they're potentially looking at this guy. He does have a personality as well. You know, he speaks Chinese, obviously, but he was screaming into a microphone. He's got China behind him. He's got the knockout power. He's on a 10-fight win streak. So yeah, it's both ways, you know, because he knocks out Anthony Smith. All of a sudden, Monday morning, people are like, oh, who's this Chinese kid? Hamilton, how can I help you, sir?
Sorry, I would just, I for my own edification, I had to look it up. This dude has never won a fight that has left the first round.
Wow.
All or nothing, baby.
All or nothing.
In my bed.
If he dies,
man.
he dies.
Yeah, that's
you
crazy.
know.
Okay. Yeah, and you're right though. Like, they're always looking at it like that. They're always looking to stack the odds in their favor, right? In these kind of moments, when you think about a promotion, right? Obviously, if he wins, new young kid, this up and coming kid knocking everybody out from China. If Anthony wins, what a salute. Took out this young up and coming kid. You know what I mean? So, I mean, how old is he? I keep calling him a kid. He's probably not a kid. but he can't
I
be.
doubt it. I can tell you right now, I'm looking at it. He is 26 years old, so he's still a young man.
He still is a kid. Yeah, that's young.
Also, Michelle Pereira versus
dude, that's crazy.
Randy Brown, Nicholas Dolby, and Ikram Aliskerov making up the main card. It's going to be a good one. Might do a little live stream. I'm not sure. However,
good main card. I mean, I like it.
It's a good card. It is, yeah. All right, today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped. You know the deal with Manscaped. They're all about shaving your balls downstairs, but doing it in the safe way. And did you know that one man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? In fact, April is National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, and Manscaped have partnered with them, and they are putting their money where their mouth is by donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society to help save lives and promote routine checks, which really is something that you should be doing. And by the way, we have a great offer for you. All those people that want to get in on the action and the offer, go to manscaped.com, use the code BELIEVE. You're going to get 20% off, and you're going to get free shipping at manscaped.com.